Corey, you still got the radio on, right?
Mhm.
Man. 7 PM, okay. All right, guys, we'll call our city commission meeting to order at 7 PM, December 15th, 2025. We have a quorum with Kyle, Jaden, myself. I believe Steven's joining remotely via Teams, so we can move right into our agenda. Let's start with our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up, we got our minutes. Those are from the regular commission meeting on December 1st. If you guys have looked those over and all looks good, we'll just need a motion to approve them as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as posted. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as posted. We'll move to a vote.
Yes. Yes.
Well, seen Steven's logo light up. Go ahead, Steven.
I just said yes.
Okay. All right, motion carries. Commissioners report. Go ahead, Kyle.
So I don't have a whole lot to add to this agenda, I guess. The one thing I know the guys have been having a few issues with one of the tool cats. It's kind of the same old problem, on the hydraulic system on the high pressure end of it, keeps blowing out. There's a gasket. It got brought into Bobcat to get fixed again. Hopefully we can get it remedied, I guess, as far as not happening time and time again. But it's kind of an ongoing issue. Other than that, that's all I got. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
Don't have much to add. Most of the stuff, there's a few things on the agenda that would pertain to me. So I guess we'll see him later on.
Guys, we talked last meeting that we wanted to clear the agenda for this meeting to have that community input section. So I kind of had it set in my mind that I was going to keep my report very, very light, and I'm not going to stray from that. So Steven, go ahead. I got nothing to add. Steven, you're on mute if you're trying to talk. All right, technical difficulties. All right, let's move on to modification or approval of the agenda. Do you guys have anything you want to add? Okay, I'll need a motion to approve the agenda as written then.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as is. We'll move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to old business. Liz?
Good evening, everyone. I like all of you, I'm going to be pretty short. Everything in the way of projects as far as the Terraflex litigation and other matters is tracking right along. I do believe I have a discovery conferral conference in that case. We'll be setting some new deadlines. I'll keep you apprised after the new year. I too am very interested to hear the community input portion. So I'm going to just be brief. I think I did want to thank the commission before that input meeting. It's been quite a year. I feel like in my year look back assessment, for what it's worth, there has been a great deal of work, a great deal of, I think, forward movement, good movement. I also wanted to thank Wendy for joining the team and swimming strong. Wendy was particularly helpful to me, at least the last several weeks. She was definitely Johnny on the spot, and boy, she's a whiz with records. So Wendy, I know you can't, well, you can see me, but I can't see you, but I did want to thank you for that. You're really doing an excellent job. The only other thing I wanted to say, gentlemen, before I sit back and listen to what the community has to share, was just to tell everyone Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know I won't really see the community before then, so I hope everybody has a really great holiday. And I appreciate the opportunity to work for everyone in 2025.
Okay, thanks, Liz. Guys,
Yep.
questions for Liz? It's like we're all good here. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, on to new business. We've got an airport board seat. They're looking for approval to advertise. So as you guys know, there's gonna be an opening. I believe it's right away in January, Wendy. So what they're looking for is approval to advertise. So that 2-week period is up by the time that that seat opens up. So they can just hit the ground running with the full board. So we'll just essentially need a motion to approve the advertisement of that airport board seat for 2 weeks.
I'll make a motion to approve the airport board seat for advertisement of 2 weeks in the paper.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the airport board seat advertisement for a duration of 2 weeks. Just for clarity, it would publish the 20th, run all the way through the 3rd. So by the time our first meeting in January hits, if they've got some good candidates, we could appoint. All right, any discussion on that? We'll move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, still nothing from Steven. Steven, can you hear us okay? Okay, motion carries. Okay, number 3, CD maturity. Jaden, I assume you're gonna want to take this one.
Sure. All right, so we have a 6-month CD maturing on the 25th of this month. So this CD was in the amount of 5 million. It looks like it made about $82,057. So that's good. Now we need to decide what we're gonna do with the rest of it. That interest will have to go into the general checking account, but we reached out for rates for a new CD, and it looks like they gave us the same rate that we got last month, 3.5. So now it's just a matter of what you guys want to do with it. It can be at 3.5, it could be a 9 or a 12 or a 6 or a 6. So, I'm kind of leaning towards the 9-month because it would kind of separate the two CDs a little ways away from each other, so they're not maturing right next to each other. So that would put it maturing in September, which is right at the end of construction season. So it would be good to space them out that way, because we would have one maturing in May and another maturing in September. So if we needed money for something either at the beginning or the end of construction season, that would be kind of a smart way to play that. So I will make a motion, when this CD expires, to renew it into the 9-month CD at 3.5%. That amount being 5 million.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to renew that expiring CD, for a term of 9 months at 3.5%. That sound right?
Mhm.
Any discussion on that?
Just for clarity, that's with the Bank of Tioga, correct?
It's the Bank of Tioga.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
This-
and
this-
interest will not compound, it'll go to the checking account.
And that's for The one ending in 3/2? Or is 3/9? That one, or that one's set to renew or mature in November 29th, right? Are we? No, I like it. Like, we are kind of team, don't spend money. It's nice to see our money grow without any work, and we don't have a need for it right now. It's the middle of winter, allegedly. It's like 40 degrees outside. But, yeah, construction season's kind of behind us. It's something to look forward to, and I don't see any massive projects where we'll need it, so. I like it. And we're back. All right, new business number 4. This is the community input section. This was the section we were hoping we were gonna have a whole lot of participants in. So I'll kind of break it down the way I see it. We're at the end of the year. We've had a full calendar year under our belt on the commission. I kind of wanted to treat it as like a performance review of sorts, because I want to know everything. I want to know what we're doing well, what we need to improve on, what you guys would like to see for the 2026 calendar year, and really no holds barred. If there's something that we need to improve on, like right now, now's a great time to bring it up so we can figure out a way to fix it, and we will fix it. If everything is just honky-dory perfect, I don't think any of us need to hear that, but we would like some sort of confirmation that we're doing you guys right. I mean, that's the whole point in us being here, right? Is to do what you guys want us to do, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job of that. It's been a very, very selfless board for the entirety of the year, and for some of us, a year and a half now. But we only know what we know, right? So if there's anything, like I said, you guys want to see improvement on, like, let us know. More than happy to entertain that and try to figure out a way to make that happen. Flip side of the coin, if we're doing seemingly most things right, let the guys know. Like I said, they're
I'll say so.
come on, huh?
You know me, I can't keep my mouth shut too. Well, what I see what's happened in the last year is everybody's trying to work together with the community and trying to got the same goals, and a lot of the spending is quit. I mean, I still know you gotta spend money and stuff to operate the city, but the unnecessary stuff, the gas stations and all that stuff, that stopped, and we gotta take, our hats off to all you guys, because you guys are starting to make a lot of common sense decisions. And the city of Tioga are lucky to have all you guys here. And Wendy, I know you're doing a great job too, but the city just needs to give you all a hand. And yeah, I guess I can't say, all I can say is you guys are doing one hell of a job, and I'm glad that you guys are all in here, because it was way too long that we weren't being heard. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna second that. You guys do a great job.
Come on up. Make sure you hit the button on the mic. I don't know if it's on or
Get off
not.
here.
Yeah.
No, you guys are very supportive, especially with the police department. You guys have done a great job. This year has been a pleasure. And I just thank you guys a lot. It's a pleasure working with you guys, Wendy, especially you. It's a pleasure working with you. You guys have done a great job in this year. And I know the department is behind you guys, so it's nice to have support from you guys as well. So, appreciate everything you guys have done. And then also, it'd be nice to know, I'm filling another officer spot tomorrow, so we're gonna be fully staffed at 5. So that's good. And then we still got one on light duty, he'll come back in February and then we'll be fully staffed, 24/7 protection again. So it's been a long summer being short staffed, so I'm very excited that we'll be fully staffed again, so.
Don't jinx it, Cody.
Try not to, speaking it into existence.
Thank you.
One thing I see up there is a team. There's not I in team. This is a team effort. And I applaud you all for it.
I'll say the same thing. I've been here for like 70 some days. I appreciate the transparency of working with you guys. Wendy, you're awesome. So I appreciate you a lot. And then, yes, the board and the city commission, thank you. But on the public comment, I do have something that as the EDC we wanted to bring up. And so tonight I'm bringing forward an item for discussion and public input only with no action requested at this time. The Tioga EDC currently owns 6 vacant lots in our downtown core. These parcels have remained undeveloped for a number of years, and for more than a decade, there has been ongoing conversation, both formally and informally, about how these lots could one day support new growth, new business, and long-term viability in the downtown Tioga. Up to this point, those conversations have largely stayed in the background. As the new EDC director, along with my board, we've been working on a new plan where it's appropriate and important to bring this discussion into the public eye. And with Brett's discussion and the city commission council, I thought tonight would be a great night to bring this into the public comment, because that's what we're looking for. The intent tonight is not to present a finalized plan or developer agreement or specific project. Instead, the intent is to formally place this topic on the agenda so we can begin an open, transparent, community-driven conversation about the future of these downtown lots. Broadly speaking, the EDC is interested in exploring whether these parcels could support new commercial or mixed-use development, opportunities that encourage business growth and downtown activity, projects that align with the city's long-term goals and reflect community values. However, before any direction is taken, we believe it is critical to hear from residents, business owners, and stakeholders. Understand community priorities, concerns, and ideas. Ensure any future steps are guided by public input and council direction. This agenda item is simply the starting point. No decisions are being made, no commitments are being asked for, and no timelines are being set tonight. The EDC's goal is to work collaboratively with the city council and with the public to determine if, how, and when these lots should be developed in the way that best serves Tioga's future. So I just wanted to open up into the public comment tonight, to put it on there, so we can have that conversation. So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Any follow-up?
Where are those lots at?
So where the Christmas tree is at on the west side of town, in between the old Skull Bar, I think it was called, and the post office, that is where those lots are. Yep, so those 6 undeveloped lots that have grass on them, those are the lots downtown. So open it up to you guys.
What do you think? Like, when you picture that open spot, what do you think would fit the bill there? Because being open is fitting no bills,
Yeah.
right?
So I guess when I've conversed with my board several different times on it, I envision, yes, a courtyard type of a setting around commercial space in it. Whether that means we just build a little commercial space by the Skull Bar, let's say, and then the rest is just still grass and then we can build later. I have envisioned commercial space with living above it so we can invite more families to come to this growing town. And so, I mean, I see it as something that's going to attract more people. We do the Christmas lighting there. Well, the Christmas tree could still stay in the courtyard, you know? I mean, there's a lot of awesome ideas that I've shared with the board and the board has shared with me, especially in our old strategic plan that we're going to be updating that states kind of where our minds are all aligned. So I think definitely some commercial space, kind of like the Tioga Square has those undeveloped commercial spaces below. It'd be awesome to have something that is developed so people could move in and we could have, you know, a lawyer in town, the accountant in town, the bakery, all these different things. That's what I envision, is that there's no reason that none of that can't be right there. So, yeah.
Sure. What do you guys think? I mean, that's an area that needs something at some point. We've talked about it a lot, like previous meetings, and Bob, you've brought it up, I don't know how many times, how nice it would be to get like trades back in town, the plumbers, the electricians, the stuff that you're contracting out for Minot and Stanley. and-
Lawyers, tax people.
Tax person, anything that like, the more we can do in town, the better. People don't want to have to go to Minot just to do their taxes. It'd be way nicer if they could just go downtown for that. And then, they probably won't just go downtown for that. They'll probably do some other stuff downtown too, so.
Well, you look at plumbers, they come into town, they're out of mine at most of them. And people have to pay to drive to mine, down here to work. Some of these people can't afford that. It'd be nice to try to bring some of them in, if it's part of the city or the EDC, whoever, but somebody should really be looking at bringing more professional people into our community, so you don't have to outsource it so far.
Well, something I was talking about with Wendy the other week, I just kind of had it in my head one day, like, these implement dealers and stuff, well, they go recruit people out of college to sign on and work with them. So I'm thinking to myself, how can we get, maybe some young tradesmen to do the same thing? I'm told that already has kind of been done in the past, but maybe it's worth keeping on doing it, and maybe trying to figure out a way to make it more concrete, I guess.
I want to let everyone know too. So we had an event at the community center on Friday, and there were people that came from Grand Forks, Fargo, and Bismarck that I extended an invitation for. They toured that community center. Some of these people haven't been back to Tioga for a decade or more. And they said, we don't know another town that has 2,000 people in it, that has the state-of-the-art community center that you guys do. And they said, Josh, this is really something that's should be, shared to a lot of people. It was just a lot of positivity of like, wow, Tioga's got a lot under their feet, under their ground. So when I see these 6 lots just sitting vacant, not creating any more growth for this town, it just makes me think, well, there's a lot of possibility there. And so just having that open conversation with you guys and bringing it into the public comment is exciting. So hopefully we get some people to join the conversation.
Well, here's what I know, and this might be one of the reasons why it's always stalled out, is I know the EDC can't do it on their own. And I know if we tried doing it on our own, we would fail miserably too. We gotta tackle this together. And I think there could be a lot of success with some healthy collaboration and teamwork, a joint venture of sorts.
Yes.
That we start supporting each other the way we were supposed to all along. I think it's gonna open up all sorts of interesting possibilities for that area.
I would agree. Absolutely.
Like some of these plumbing outfits, if they hire a young guy like you're talking, coming out of college or something, they probably know how to do everything, but they can't work alone, so they have to work under a master's. It's not saying that, they can't move here to Tioga and work under that master's license, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like we have, if we could work with the company out of Minot or Williston, where they would put a person here and be able to work right out of Tioga, it would be huge for the whole community. It really would.
Well, it would be it would be great for the community. It'd be good for them. It'd be a gold mine. So but they just don't know it's here. So,
Right. Cause they'd have Ray and Tioga, and they'd have Wild Rose and McGregor, the whole works,
And I think my biggest thing that I want to emulate to the public here tonight is just envision what you think good growth and good stability downtown looks like. And to me, we've got some rough drafts, I would say, at my office of what we kind of want to showcase. And so, I mean, that's my job. I'm wanting to talk to the public. So please, anyone who's listening, stop by and have those conversations. So I think it's an exciting time.
Yeah,
So I guess if maybe you want to share where your office officially is then, or your phone number and,
My phone number is 701-840-5259.
You don't have an,
My, huh?
you don't have an office yet, do you?
Well, I have an office. It's in Bob's building.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's maybe going to be something else coming in the new year, maybe. Okay, so we'll just say in Bob's building right now downtown, so.
In the tire.
Oh yeah, tire shop, yes, my bad, tire shop.
Well, Josh, one thing, like you said, we need the community to drive it. Let them tell us what they want to see or what they think will work. There's talked about it a lot early on. The intellectual horsepower that's in this little town is just second to none. There's so many people here that have been there and done that. They know what works. They don't know, or they do know what doesn't work, and like feed off them heavily. You'll meet some very, very interesting and great people that could make your job awfully easy.
So I think to go off of that, being in this role, everyone wants to share their prior experiences with, the city council, the old economic development director, whoever you want to say it. So I've heard, the only thing that I've really heard is the positivity coming from what our city council is doing and how they're working so closely with the EDC and like how they're just in full support of Tioga and there's no backlash, negativity. So yes, hats off to you guys because I've only been here 70 some days and that's all I've heard is a lot of positivity coming from you guys, working with you guys. People are just very excited about that. So I think it's a fun adventure here soon. So
thank
Yeah,
you.
and that's one thing that the EDC and the city were kind of divided there for a long time, so it is good. The only way you're gonna fix it is working together, period. We all know that.
Well, we need a project. I mean, that's what we need. We need a community project where there's community buy-in. They kind of steer the ship and we execute based off of their wants. And like I said, we can't do it by ourselves. The EDC can't do it by themselves, but if we can take a community vision and turn it into reality, I think we can all hang our hats on that as a success. It's definitely something to look at.
So now that we paid that community center off, $204,000 a year goes back into the Tioga fund, right?
It doesn't come out of it. It doesn't come out of it.
It doesn't come out of it,
No.
right? That's what I'm
Yep.
trying to say.
No.
So if we took a portion of that to get some of these people to come here, wouldn't that be a good thing all the way around for the people?
Oh, I think it definitely would. Supporting people, like, let's just say there's a franchise out there and they target Tioga as an applicable city to start a franchise. You've got franchise fees that are tough for a new person to absorb on their own. A lot of times there's a requirement that they have to have leasable space. And if we don't have leasable space, they don't get to bring a franchise in. I think, like I said, there's all sorts of interesting opportunity in this. But I don't necessarily want to just talk about it forever and ever and ever. We got to execute at some point too, because those lots have been vacant for a long time.
and I think that's where. I don't know, and I can't speak to it, so Wendy, you might have to, or anyone, but I don't know how many times it's been brought up to city council, how they've had a real honest conversation about those lots, working together, coming up with the same plan. So I think this is a great first step. So I'm excited to see what we can come up with in the next, months in the public and city and stuff. So
It would be nice getting like a Subway or something in there as well, more food options, quick sandwich. Just bring more stuff like that in. Get toys people, get another food option. Something like that.
We need the old style cafe that used to be alongside the old tire store. You walked in and they had all their food set out, you could dish out.
Yeah.
If you wanted to order, you could. And you were in and out of there in less than half an hour. And that's what a lot of people need is
Yeah.
to get in and out and
Yeah, if you go to
get
Pinnacle,
back to work.
if you go to Pinnacle at noon, all the oil field workers are eating at Pinnacle. So it'd just be nice to have something else like that, you know, where they can come in and out real quick and grab a good bite of food and leave.
It'd be nice just to have more on Main Street to draw people in, like Jaden said, like just because you came in to Main Street for one thing, doesn't mean you're gonna walk across the street, like. If you got some sort of retail spot on the west side of Main Street. Well, shoot, it's lunchtime. I'll just scoot over to Madhouse and grab a bite to eat too. It helps everybody. And I think that's what we really need is just support the local economy.
So I just wanted to add one more thing. So on our agenda today, number 10, I think is a really exciting thing for the public to see for the future too. So we're talking about expansion on these lots and our visions and our goals. And so for the Chamber of Commerce here in Tioga, we're excited that we have some really community-driven opportunities coming up in this spring to fall months. And so it'd be fun to have commercial space down there to draw more people from the surrounding areas like we talked about. So we have a lot of things in motion right now. And so having this first conversation with you guys and hopefully opening it up more to the public is really going to be fun on the Chamber of Commerce and EDC side as well. So I thought I'd bring that point up as well. So.
I would say maybe something even more to do in town, maybe bring back a bowling alley, because I know town, we used to have a bowling alley, bring more activities that would bring the community together.
Sure.
Well, I mean, like the vacant lots, I mean, it's a nice place to put the tree, but I think like using as much of that space as something productive would be great. I mean, we could find another spot for the tree. I mean, it would be better if it was just full of a bunch of booming businesses. But with that risk too, we have to make sure if we're going to stick a bunch of money into this, it's gotta land, gotta be able to get people here.
Yeah. I think that's why when you talk about the commercials. So when you talk about the commercial space of our vision at the EDC, we've talked about having that residential availability on top as well. So you have both the new business and growth happening with our, economic part of it, but then bringing more families in and having those housing options as well, so it's all in the plan and we have rough drafts and stuff, but yeah, that's exactly right.
But we can't build it for somebody. They gotta have a piece of the pie and, some of it's gonna have to come from them. We can't just build a big building for them or something and let them move in, and you know what I'm saying? They gotta have.
Well, I think that's where you open it back up to the public and someone, let's say, who owns a bakery, you and your wife, and you give us written agreement, like we are excited, we will commit to 5 years in the space or something like that, so.
But the same deal with the trades,
Yeah.
that's kind of how that deal works. So you'd have them sign on, like it'd be like a agreement, like you are gonna be here for, yeah.
Help them get started, and then after that, gotta come out of their pocket. You can't keep funding them.
No, we're not looking for that. We're just looking for,
Right.
Yeah.
Does someone online have anything to say? Folks online?
My eyes aren't so great. I can't even really tell if anyone's taking themselves off mute or who the people are. So you guys will have to holler if you see somebody raising a hand or something. Okay, one small item. I know we were probably gonna have some rec council people here tonight, but with the Christmas programs or music programs going on at the school, like one of them texted and said that they couldn't make it, but regarding the ball field construction, I mean, obviously, we still need to replace the field, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that in a roundabout way on the next agenda item, but the one thing she relayed to me was their preference if we build out something or construct a new ball field, is that the outfield fence is at that 275 foot mark that we talked about at the last meeting, so everything that Josh is pursuing right now, as far as that build out, it seems like it's on point. As far as the rec council is concerned, or at least one person of it, that is the goal, is to have a 275 foot field. I did have, Josh move the plot plan a little bit closer to the road, just so the outfield fence wasn't directly underneath the power lines, cause I know we talked about, with our tree committee and all the tree grants out there, having essentially a row of trees just to increase the aesthetics of the area. So getting that a little further to the south opens up room for trees on the north. So I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of anything to talk about in that regard. Like I said, everybody that would have been influential on that decision-making portion of things, they're at a music program, but it sounds like we're on the right track anyway. Guys, do you have anything you want to add to this section? I know it's gonna be awfully quiet. Is there anything that you would like to see improvement on?
I know there's been some folks, that have talked to me, they would like to see some more growth as far as the streets, curbs, gutters, things like that on the south side of town, especially on the southeast of town. It's within city limits, but it still are a lot of gravel roads over that direction. Within residential as well. There are some larger businesses over that way, but there are a lot of gravel roads around the residential area. And they've asked me if we've forgotten about them, is how they've phrased in. Definitely haven't forgotten about them. It's just, unfortunately, hasn't kind of come up, I guess. So I think that doing something maybe in the future, relative soon future, would probably be a positive influence, I guess, on the south end of town. I know South Main and Benson Street, that's in litigation, of course, that's roller coaster alley for sure, but something else as far as, like I said, there's a lot of gravel roads on the south, and I think at some point we need to address that and get it in our future plans of expanding them roads and completing that project.
I'll just a reminder, we did have budgeted dollars set aside for 67th and Signal Road. I know we likely aren't gonna be able to hit on both those, but I mean, for how well we've done for saving money over the course of the year, I don't see why we couldn't execute on at least one of them. Again, that's heavily dependent on our engineering firm and what they can put together from a dollars and cents perspective. Just because we can afford it right now, if the price tag to do it is unrealistic, we essentially can't afford it. So we're gonna have to be working very diligently with them to lay out expectations on what that project looks like and, live within our means. That's the biggest thing, is just live within our means. But there are dollars set aside or allocated in the budget for those.
Maybe it'd be worth exploring, a road project maybe on, Dakota Street too. The one that goes down by, like Colin Christopherson's and stuff.
It's only half paved.
It's only half paved, and it's the part that is paved isn't particularly nice. I mean, I've drove down it enough times. It needs a redo, and it's only half paved, so that's only half the street you'd have to tear up. So, I mean, if we're looking at a cost-effective road project, that's an avenue.
Not only that, but the water and sewer on that street runs through the alley, north and south. So if there was a time to ever install utilities being so only half the road is paved, now would be it.
On 67th Street. Does the city own both sides of the road all the way for that mile? Or does the township own part of it?
Yeah, the Tioga Township owns a section in there, and we'd have to meet with them again and come up with a game plan and a look forward as far as what, but they've shown interest and they would like to get it paved as well, sooner than later.
Well, and that and all the apartments on the north side of 67th, they just get blasted with dust every summer. It's just unreal. You put down, dust control, which works good, but it's a Band-Aid. And then like last summer, you graded everything, smoothed it all out, and you can't do that every year either. That was expensive.
Well, if we would have been doing it every year, it wouldn't have been so expensive. But yeah, and and that's another thing too, like those businesses on the southeast side of town, even if the road's not paved, they do deserve to have a nice road, that's not filled with potholes. So I think, definitely have to maybe look at doing another gravel project in the spring. Maybe filling in some of those holes for some of those businesses. I mean, that's the least we could do in the meantime until, maybe we get around to maybe paving someday. But
The 67th is bumpy. It's
Yeah.
not a fun road to drive down.
well, there's a lot of years that there was not much being done with it, and now it's bad. What we did, we spent a lot of money last year, putting a Band-Aid on it, and it still needs more work, so.
I see here last week, there was a semi that slid down in the ditch or off that hill.
Yep.
When it gets real icy like that, somebody should be sanding that. That's a nasty hill there, and it stop sign right on top.
Yeah. He
Well,
tried to at the stop sign and ended up going right back down into the
Yeah,
ditch.
yeah.
It slid down.
So unfortunately, some of that has not helped with Mother Nature and the wind.
No,
There are a lot of roads that are very glazed over. But yes, it definitely-
we do have a sand truck, so they could.
right, and I think
Especially on that hill.
if that road, if and when that road is redone, I think that should be more of a priority to have like more of a plateau out there
Yeah.
at the stop sign to where trucks and traffic are able to stop
Actually stop.
correctly and get going safely,
Right,
so they aren't sliding down hills or hard on the clutch or whatever it may be, so I think that's something that needs to be looked at as well.
It's a hard hill even in the summertime. I mean,
the only thing I have to say about it, especially when it's icy like this, if it's icy down that road, that should be number one priority, that hill, just run the sand truck up that hill a little bit, and you probably save somebody a lot of damage or something, with the truck or somebody getting hurt. All the other streets in town are more flat, but that one's a dangerous one.
Jane, what you got? What do we gotta fix?
I really want to do a road project, so I mean, we need to figure out if we're gonna do 67th or we're gonna do Dakota Street or what. Like I mean, we had a good little break to make sure we're not, spending money foolishly, but now it's time to maybe do something with it, so.
67th would be nice to get done.
Is there a grant coming up again that you could put in for?
I'm not aware of any at the moment. That doesn't mean they're not out there though.
Or that's where a guy wants to go with it,
I can't, when I drive around town, though, that's probably like that probably should be our main focus is maybe, looking at those two potentially. Everything else is either, everything that needs to be done is either in litigation or that, so.
All right, Stephen, I don't know if you can hear us or if you want to try to take another stab at talking, but the floor is yours if you want to talk about anything that's on your mind.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Okay. No, out of all the streets, I would definitely say 67th. I mean, I travel down that road quite often and it is definitely something else. Um, in general, I do understand that hill over there can be a danger and is quite slick, but that's something we're just gonna have to look at and figure out a good solution for. But I would agree with you guys that the Dakota Street and then 67th there, some of the two that definitely need some work on them. But yeah, I'm just pretty much in agreement with you guys. As far as developing that plot over there, I think that would be an amazing idea. I think that could be used for such great ideas. It could just really be something instead of just an open lot that sits there all year round. But that's about it.
Um, there's really only one thing on my mind that I think that we need to improve on. We have to improve on. I'll start off with kind of the easy part. Like the last number of months now, my workload city-wise has gone down drastically. Now, that's not because things are getting easier per se, but I think you two specifically, or commissioners as a whole, they're doing a fantastic job. They're making my life easier. Our workforce, our coworkers, they cover everything. You know, we had a stretch of nasty cold weather recently when everything was supposed to break. Even if it did break, nobody really knew that the city just kept firing on all cylinders. Like, I don't know, I probably say it too much. Normally in the commissioner's report, I say, pretty quiet. Everybody's being pretty kind to me, making my life easy. I mean that. Like our workforce is so high functioning and so well equipped to do a good job, and they do that constantly, which makes my life easy, which make your guys' lives easy, which hopefully makes Wendy's life easy, I hope, and Liv's. I mean, everything, the temperature of the city has gone down so significantly in the last year, it's like almost unrecognizable. People are enjoying each other, people are having fun.
What do you call that? Teamwork?
I think that's teamwork, yeah.
There you go.
But I think a lot of that too is, I say it a lot, we've got 2,200 bosses in town, and we all work for bosses in our private lives. I think for the most part, pretty good at following direction, and like I say, we got some pretty supportive bosses around here, and it makes life a lot more enjoyable than it was not that long ago, so thank you guys for all the work you've been putting in. Like I said, it makes my life a lot easier. I hope I'm doing the same thing for you and contributing and making your lives easier. I do have one complaint though, and it is one thing that I know we have to fix. Guys, when they elected us, the expectation was we were present. We were present in the lives of our coworkers, whether it's streets, water, sewer, finance department, anything and everything, we had to be in the moment and be present. One of the things that has been irking me to no end, and I know there's some human factors involved with this and some situational awareness that I have to be aware of, but when we signed up for this, it was to participate the first and third Monday of every month. It's not too much to ask to be present and in the moment and be up here sitting in front of you guys doing our jobs. Now, I know Teams is a great tool to utilize if life happens and you just cannot be here. But I think the expectation is that we are here going forward. It has been rough on me to have to explain to everybody why we never have a full board here. We've been looking diligently for a police commissioner, haven't really found anybody that's been interested. A lot of that is people say, well, you guys got it under control. Everything's going so smoothly. Like, just leave it alone. Do what you're doing. No, it just adds extra work on us. Not that we aren't willing to do it, but it adds work on us. And then when we're even shorter, we're a couple guys away from getting sick to not having a quorum. We don't handle city business on the first and third Monday of the month. It's not a spot I'm interested in being in. So the expectation is, and Jaden, I know your record's perfect. Kyle, I believe yours is as well. You guys have been at every single meeting that has been scheduled and on the calendar. Keep up the good work. But we need to do that universally. If you're on the payroll to be here the first and third Monday, you are here the first and third Monday. If life gets in the way, we'll figure that out, kind of, sort of. But there's really no excuse for us not to be here. That was the expectation for us. That's what we're going to execute on. Sorry for sounding a little bit abrasive. That it's been wearing on me for a while though. So going forward, we're all here first and third Monday.
And please, if there's anybody that knows anybody that's interested in filling that police commissioner spot, please send them our way. We, sometimes it gets put on, some people and they're running, 2, 3 departments and, we just want it so everybody can just worry about their designated spot. They don't have to worry about what's going on in the vacant positions. So please, somebody step up. It would be wonderful.
You three do a really good job, but it would be nice having, so please, in the public, anybody wants to be commissioner, please apply.
If you give me a gun and a badge, I'll take her.
I gotta go to the academy first, Bob. Yeah.
Come on, you need us to give you one?
Yeah.
Let this go.
I'll give you a badge, but I don't know about a gun. I'll give you a badge, but I don't know about a gun.
Yeah, whoever's in that role is gonna be way more effective than me or Kyle or Jaden, who's got our fingers in a little bit of everything, just trying to share the workload. If we got somebody that's just designated for that role, they are gonna be entirely more effective than we can. So, yeah, send them over. Hey, are we good there? Does anybody else? Mr. Papano, Patrick, got anything?
That's all mentioned real quick, cause I believe Bob brought up the topic of grants for road funding. And we'll kind of let you know that have been keeping a pulse on that. I sent Kyle a couple months ago an email at different opportunities and just, something that we'll continue to keep an eye on, send your guys' way, because I know that you expressed that it's something you'd be interested going forward to be able to know when those opportunities come up. And want to at least be able to point you in the right direction. If we're not the fit for you guys to use for it, it will at least get you guys sorted out and help you guys get to where you need to be for those projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right, let's move on to the Rural Catalyst Grant number 5. So you guys know what that is. This ball field construction, I think everybody knows that it's gonna be a very hefty price tag to complete. I don't think hardly anybody knows what we've been working on in the background, and specifically Wendy in the background. So there's multiple grants out there for this, and the first portion of that was matching funds from the Williams County 1%. We were approved for that first portion of $400,000. What goes with that, that's a piggyback on the Rural Catalyst Grant. So we've, let me pull this up to make sure I'm telling you correctly. We've got we've got to submit our application to that Rural Catalyst grant by January 7th. So what we're doing is we're putting together all the data we need, plot plans, conceptual designs, overall price tags, anything and everything we need to do to apply for that grant or get accepted for that grant, I should say. But what they need from us is what we would be willing to contribute from a municipality standpoint. So all in, if we want to look at it, just clear as mud, how it is on paper. We've already been approved for the matching funds, the 1% up to $400,000 or 400,000. We are going for the Rural Catalyst grant in the amount of 400,000. So what appetite do you guys have to contribute towards that project? Now, I know one of the first, well, I guess really the only quote I've seen for More Engineering right now is kind of flirting with $1.1 million, and that's all in on one field. We're looking at building a ball field and then refurbishing the other field on the south side of the road. I think we can sharpen up our pencils quite a bit. Maybe that doesn't mean artificial turf everywhere. Maybe that means a turf infield, sod outfield, an agrolim infield, sod outfield, something to take that price point down so we can do a solid job on both fields, on both sides of the road, so they're like in kind and playable in like tournament time. Just for the sake of that, I would think, and please snap if I'm speaking out of line, I would think that we would be willing to contribute up to 300,000 towards that project. If there's an additional 800,000 out there just in grant money, I think there's reason to put money in ourselves to get what we want out of the deal. Does that pretty well summarize it, Wendy? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I think we just, both Williams County and Rural Catalyst are gonna wanna know what the municipality is willing to contribute. And so that's what I needed from you in order to continue with the grant application. And so I think that that's fair and reasonable. And it doesn't mean that you're, have already committed those funds. It's just stating, this is what our appetite would be and what we would be okay with contributing should the project move forward.
Would there be any reason where we would exactly have to match the 400,000 as well? Or can we go under and still be okay?
Yeah, I think you can go, we have the match from Williams County to get the Rural Catalyst grant. It's just they want, I feel like they have an appetite and want to know, does the municipality have some skin in the game too? And so, I think that's where that's coming from. So it's really what are you comfortable with, putting towards that project? I don't think it would hinder us if, you just don't feel like, meeting that same match amount.
So what's the difference in like astroturf versus regular sod? What's the expense of that in the future as you go by? Is it pretty expensive to keep it up?
Well, actually, the turf option, it's less expensive. There's less maintenance involved with it. I mean, obviously, just mowing, the field being ready early in the year, the field being playable later in the year. The maintenance costs are pretty darn low. It's actually as simple as, refilling rubber from time to time and pulling around a drag with broom heads on it just to level out all that rubber. But yeah, it's for the most part, it's pretty much hands off. It comes with a cost though. I mean, it is definitely more expensive than planting grass. Not as severely expensive overlaying sod than one would think. It's less than what, 50% more. The issue is we're finding there's gonna be a lot of engineering fees that go into constructing this ball field. There's a drainage plan, just because it's in a floodplain, there's culverts that have to go in, there's concrete for dugouts, the dugouts themselves, concrete for bleachers, the bleachers themselves, there's It's pretty wild how some of this red tape stuff starts adding up.
Didn't they have automatic gates that would open up too or something?
No, not anymore.
Did Josh get a new estimate for different things? Cause at the last meeting, he just gave one.
We haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
It would have been kind of nice to see it, just so we know what we should commit, but, another question too about that turf, maybe you could answer it, is it's gotta have, like an irrigation system underneath. Well, let's say, like, what are the odds of that failing? And like something going wrong with it and having to dig everything up? What are the odds of something like that? Is it low or is it? You know,
Based off of what I
cause
see,
grass is, I mean, or even sod, little can go wrong with that and it's easily fixable, but what kind of shape would we be in if what's below the turf were to go haywire?
yeah, it's essentially the plans or the quote that I seen, it's almost like it's built on a drain field itself with drain tile around the perimeter on the fence. So it's pretty well, it sheds its own water for you.
So it shouldn't give us problems,
Should not give us problems.
but if it does, is it gonna be costly?
Well, yeah, I think it absolutely would.
That's something to think about too, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, because we would have to contract that out to have it repaired. I mean, gosh, Kyle, you remember us throwing artificial turf down in the community center our first go around, and that was, bet you people watching the cameras just giggled at us. So there's no way we could do a whole softball field.
well, I just wanted to throw that in there too. I mean, you start comparing costs, even if the maintenance is cheaper, we do have to factor that in as well. If something were to malfunction, is it gonna cost a lot more to fix it than fixing, grass?
And the thing that stuck in my mind too is if it floods, it floods. It doesn't matter if it's turf, sod, grass. If it floods, we're not playing on it, period. I mean, that night or that day of events is pretty well shut down because, well, we all know when we saw that area flood like 30 years ago, it moved south and then it moves to the southeast. Like it's not like you're gonna have a tournament going on if it's underwater anyway, because it's not just gonna be that field that's underwater.
They'd have a fishing tournament
That's right. That's right.
right by the culverts.
Yep.
I don't know, some rough numbers with what Jaden wanted. I mean, it could be, a small pipe leak, single valve fitting failure, anything from 5 to 15. But then if a pipe breaks due to, I don't know, heavy frost or froze, multiple fittings damaged, 30, 75 turf disturbed, it could be all the way from 15 to 40,000. I mean, I don't know. These are just some rough numbers of what ChatGPT had to say.
Yeah, that's another, I guess, if you wanna call it an advantage to turf over sod or grass, is you have no irrigation. You don't water turf,
Yeah, I mean, a guy would just have to compare and see like what's gonna work the best long term. It's not just the original cost that we gotta think about. We gotta think about way down the road as well.
Tyler's probably gonna do mowing, right? Maybe have him put a little input into it too, because, he runs a really, I mean, he's got a beautiful park down there.
Mhm.
And let him help make decisions on it, cause he does do a great job for the city.
Did Josh ever get back to you with an estimated time when he would have that other proposal done that you gave approval for?
He knows our timeline.
Okay.
But, so,
Sure.
So far, nothing.
Okay.
I mean, one of the big asks was options. We've got one right now and it's very generic.
Yeah.
It's more driven by the flood plan, the drainage system than the field itself.
And it was only for 220, it wasn't even for 275, or was it for 275 as well?
No, last meeting, we asked them to extend it to 275 because his original, well, the Clomer was for a 220-foot field.
So we don't even have any of those. Yeah.
Nothing yet. No, in my mind, I truly do think we're gonna end up getting kinda, I don't wanna say push, because this is gonna be a great thing all the way around, but just to make sure that it's budget friendly and the project dollar amount is sized appropriately. I do feel like with all the extra red tape and engineering costs, we're probably gonna be looking more at that sod outfield, Agrland infield, which it's not your sand infield like we have there already. It's your, professional level sand infield. I do think we're gonna be more in that market just because I've seen the additional costs outside of just the field itself, and it's tough pill to swallow, but we gotta decide how much we wanna chip in on this. I mean, potential for getting $800,000 worth of grants is unique all in its.
Both fields fixed.
And way nicer than we originally had
I
thought.
mean, that's,
I think we're pretty safe if we decided to, allocate 3 or 400,000. I don't think it matters. It can change. It's pretty much just like a good show of faith that we're, committing to the project, so.
I think if Landy and I mean, depending on Josh getting back to us because we have till January 7th, correct? And he knows that, and so I think it'd be awesome if we could solidify some of those new updated items from him, but yeah, I think if we could get the match from the city for, yeah, that 3 or even 4 would be awesome, and to get the, what is it for the real canvas, 500, right? Or is it 400?
400. So you could do like 4, 4, and 4,
Yeah,
if you feel comfortable with that, or whatever the commission feels comfortable, and
Yeah.
we'll try. We'll just,
Yeah, I mean, we're not locked in to
No.
it. That's the good part. I mean, if
yeah, you're not locked in, but I would highly suggest that you work with Tyler Jenkins on it too, because he's the one that's gonna be maintaining it, right? No matter which way you go. Right? Probably.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got all that ironed out or not. I'm sure there's an answer.
There's
to
still
the
work to do
contract
with
at
that
some-
as well.
some Point,
but
Okay, well,
yeah, either way,
just a thought, because he's already in the area with all his equipment. So. And you have to admit, he keeps a tight ship over there and does a very nice job.
yeah.
People drive into these parks here in Tioga and they're amazed. Pretty nice, yeah.
Hey guys, what do you think?
you think?
I think we should go for the closer to 4 myself, but, I mean, we don't have to spend as a thing. We're just,
I'll make a motion to, I guess, commit the 400, and present it for the grant, so we can keep that rolling.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second to commit $400,000 towards the Rural Catalyst grant that we're applying for with Williams County 1% matching funds of the same amount. Any discussion on that? Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. On to the consent agenda. That's just bills for December, November financials, a raffle permit for the Firestorm Track and Field, a raffle permit for Tioga Robotics, and then the Tioga Fund application for the Chamber of Commerce that Mr. Vonkel alluded to earlier. All of that looks great. We'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Oh.
Dave, that's the chamber, that project. I don't know, Dave, if you wanted to talk about some of your plans for summer with that. those additional funds?
Oh, I can, if you'd like. Typically, we ask for operating funds, and this year, we're asking for a little bit more. We've got, some downtown events that are planned that, we're gonna model it after the Tuesday nights on Main, but it's gonna have a little Dave weirdness twist to it. There'll be some more fun things, but, the idea is to do, oh, sorry.
I don't know if everybody can pick you up. The mic is right up there.
I've been told I'm very loud, so I'll try to control this. Anyway, the idea was to do something similar to Thursday nights on Main. I'm sure everybody's probably seen that or heard about it or something, but we want to do one a month because one a week is just too much for a town like this. But we thought if we do one a month, and kind of model it after that, using the lots and then using the one block there. We wouldn't really have to block off the intersections, but we'd like to like rope off from the gym over to the post office and then go from, you know, the old Skull Bar across over to Madhouse and just have everything right in there. You know, bring in entertainment. We'll have hopefully food trucks and inflatables and all kinds of things, but we're kind of looking at different other things too that'll incorporate activities for children all the way up to adults. So we figured that we have the opportunity, why not try it, you know, and just see if we can build some momentum like Williston has. Williston's been kind of setting records the last couple of years. It seems like they're just every year, well, week over week even, it just keeps growing. It's getting just huge. And you know, if we can have some consistency and it goes well this summer, maybe we do it again next summer and, you know, change it up. But I don't know. We've got some other ideas. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I don't know if they're going to happen, but it'll definitely be inflatables and maybe some other children's activities. It'll definitely have music and entertainment, and then, you know, hopefully we'll round out food opportunities other than, you know, whatever our local people can't do. We'd like to try to bring in some food trucks from Williston, Minot, Bismarck, whatever, and just take a stab at seeing if we can't make you know, make it an entertainment hub in the summer for all of the small towns around. Ray's, you know, Wild Rose, Stanley, Hours Like, whatever. That's just, so that's in addition to our normal operating and expense. So I don't know. If there was anything in the paperwork that you had questions on or something, I'd be happy to address it, but
No, I was excited when I watched or looked at the paperwork on it. I
yeah.
was like, wow, it's kind of like a Freedom Fest every single month. Like everybody waits all year for it to happen. And if we can provide something of the sort every
Exactly.
month, it
Exactly.
happen in place. I mentioned it to Wendy earlier. I'm just so proud that we're blessed with people that are willing to put in the legwork to do this because it doesn't just happen.
No.
You can have money that gets contributed towards it, but people actually have to do the work to put it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody understands that and comes and enjoys it.
Well, that's our goal. And we really want to use this, and hopefully we can springboard off into, you know, bringing more attention to the community center and other things that the community has. We're going to, you know, try to make a media blitz, and then, you know, instead of just putting it online, we're going to reach out to all of the TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, you know, and try to get them all here and get the word out, and hopefully, you know, use that to raise our profile a little bit if we can.
Love it.
So, if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to.
I don't think so. Just
More to
excited.
come, I guess.
I guess just thank you for getting all set up. And I mean, I know it takes a lot of work and effort and meetings and just planning and everything, and definitely appreciate it. So thanks.
I'd rather do that than your job, so I'll just say.
Hey, there's a spot open for that too, Dick.
Oh, why do you think I put that out there? I'd rather do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Let's move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Okay, motion carries and you're on to public comment for a second time. I don't anticipate there to be a lot of public comments, so we'll give it just 30 seconds here. Maybe somebody on the Teams call will chime in.
I think that there's just some exciting things happening in the future for the commercial and residential and all that different stuff and with the summer nights and yeah, so I think it's fun. I hope more people show up to city commission meetings so we can get their opinions.
Okay, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion on that? No, we'll move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Okay, motion carries and we are adjourned at 8:16 PM.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.